Alright, here we go. Need to get our drive gears back on our crankshaft. Clean out the bearing and the face up here. I'm going to put the engine assembly lube to it. Some nice oily brake parts cleaner. Look at everything good, check for scratches, dust, anything you don't want on there. All over your bearing face and your crankshaft too. If you do see something, check it. I'm cleaning it. Want this assembly lube on there thick. That's all this bearing is going to have when we first start up. Can't get enough, people. Keep it coming. That's real nice, real thick. Put that on there. You get our little gear out. First, you're going to go on with your camshaft drive gear. Goes like so. And it is a press fit. So this is going to have 2 steps to it. Step numero uno. Take it far away from the spray cleaner area. I'm going to heat it up. I'll be right back. Better get something to grab that with. Yeah, this. Alright. nice and warm. Got some little holes. You want them to the outside so you can see them when you're putting her back together from the front of the engine. Definitely expanded. Got here just a piece of exhaust pipe. Got a big hammer. Pretty easy. $10 piece of exhaust pipe from AutoZone. Hope that doesn't blow up. Your exhaust pipe away. You're done with it for a moment. Stand up somewhere. Okay. Next is your little spacer doodad thingy. Plopple it down on there. Like that. Next is your distributor drive gear. That is sort of a brass material. You warm it up, and do not do it as long. Got it a little warm for us. And I don't think there's no, there ain't no type of marks on it. Get it lined up with your cotter key there, a little warm. It can go either way, to be honest. Okay. Exhaust pipe. We're going for the rubber mallet. Like it started. Almost there. A few whacks with the big man there. Alright guys. Clean her off. Just for reference, that's a piece of a 2-inch exhaust pipe. I see a bunch of people out there getting fancy with theirs, but it works just as good as anything else. I like the exhaust pipe because it's softer than even the brass or whatever that is. It's a real soft metal. It's more likely going to damage the pipe before it damages any gear. Okay, what next? Nothing else has to go on there. Let's clean it up. Oh, wait. Forgot about my favorite little snap or circlip. Where you at, little buddy? There you are. You gonna be aggravating on the way on? See what you got. There we are. A fresh towel. If you wipe something down one of these, clean it before final assembly. These are covered in lint. I mean, absolutely covered in ways you wouldn't think it would be. You get up close on that with a bright light and it's just lint everywhere. All right. We're going to start putting on our connecting rods. If yours balanced, if they're not all the same, you should have two, or they should be paired together. 585, 575, 576, 584. Those similar weight rods have to go together. Sure you don't have a stamp on there indicating what rod it goes on. If I was doing just a disassemble and reassemble, I'd mark them, but I don't like there's any kind of marking. Alright guys, let's get us out some rod bearings. Got some male rod bearings. It's a new crankshaft, so it's just standard measurement. A little hard to open for as fragile as they are. Rod numero uno. Everything's probably going to be a 13 millimeter. I just had to guess. Seems to be the way of the Volkswagen. Well guys, I was wrong. Ooh. Like we are actually 14s. Oh boy. So grab your little 14 millimeters, your favorite ones. Loosen up those rod cap nuts. Do that, wipe your fingers off, keep going. Sometimes these are a little tough to get apart. Yeah, and this one is. Yeah. Good Lord. A little tough. understatement. We finally battled one apart. It's well time out. Wipe it clean. Clean. Clean parts, clean hands. Don't forget. The rod bearing out of this incredibly hard to open package. Got our first down in here. Grab your cap, put your bearing in it. Try not to touch the face of your bearings. Touch the sides. Parts where they're cut in half. Have your bright light on standby. Look for specks of dust and whatnot. Use assembly lube on them things. Make sure it spreads around real good. Very important. Bearing came out of the rod. Oh boy. All right, try that again. Stick you in there like that. Stamps, which has got the numbers on it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, suckers are tough. Alright. We have one. Well, that's just for one. Start tightening. It's going to take a while. There's just one. 3 more to go. All right, guys, we have 4 rod connecting rods on our crankshaft. There we are. We're assembly lubed up. It should all be easy to turn with a very slight amount of resistance. There we are set up. I've got everything just snugged down. Next one I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these nuts off individually, or do one connecting rod at a time, or rather I'm going to put some Loctite on those studs and we'll torque them. We'll do one together. Take my wrench, loosen it up. Some Loctite around the stud. Tighten it back. When we torque these, we're going to 25 foot-pounds, so you get pretty snug with them, with everything being okay. Then get this on there. 25 foot-pounds. So y'all, something I do on these to prep before I paint them. And if you'll be able to see, on a torch across the metal, it draws the water out. That metal's real porous. Go across real quick, everywhere. So it kind of pulls that water to the top and it makes it evaporate. Go across my whole engine case doing that. It pulled it to the top and you grind it out real quick. Don't sit in one spot too long. You don't want to warp anything. Take your time, do that before you paint it. If you have to paint yours, I don't want to paint mine, but it's already been painted when it was rebuilt by Gex. They paint theirs silver. Well, they did. I think they were trying to sell their warehouse actually. But anyway, they painted it silver, and then somebody painted black over it. So I've had to clean it up, and I'm going to have to paint it to make it look decent. If yours aren't painted, I don't recommend painting them. But mine already were. So this is just part of it now. Do that, draw that water to the top. And go back pretty quick and dry it all up. Alright, here we are all taped up. Holes blocked off. We're ready for a spray down. Well, she's slathered up with the paint. Got the wrinkle paint on it. Says do 3 heavy coats, and I really hope they meant it. We're dripping. But I'll come back out here in the morning and look at it and see how it turned out. Alright. Got our tape removed. To go around to some spots. Kind of clean off the paint where the washers are going to go. that. The paint's still soft. It's a good time to do that. You can see it pretty good. Cleaned off here where our cylinders are going to sit. Make sure to get off your paint off the areas like that, because the paint will kind of squish out from under your washers and mess your torque values up. So you want those on bare metal. Otherwise, like I said, we're going to give it about 72 hours and what do we need? Then we'll drill out and tap all of our oil galley holes. Air compressor. We'll drill and tap all our oil galley holes. Make sure all the oil galleys are flushed out. When I took this engine apart, it hit a bunch of orange RTV in those main bearing holes right there. All of them did, and that's not good. Just really not good. Not something you want to see. This engine was making like, I think around 50 pounds of oil pressure at idle. That's warm idle. So that's why we're doing a new oil pump. Not because the old one was damaged, because I'm not sure what size it was. So we're just going with a 26mm gear, stock size oil pump. And those oil plungers I showed you, we want to make sure and source some of those from a good source. Almost search around, get the correct springs and plungers for our, well really it'd just be the spring that mattered, the plunger don't matter. But for our oil relief holes, I forgot to pull that tape off. Forgot all about those. Oh, good. That's good. Well, the bottom down there. That was kind of corroded. But yeah, the reason why I'm doing that is because they make oil pressure booster springs, and that just makes it harder to open your oil relief springs. Not really a good thing. If you're into those, cool, but I'm not. Alright, so we're putting back together our engine for our final assembly. Talk to you about the distributor drive. It takes 2 little shim washers. Make sure you have those little shim washers on there. If you don't, that thing will eat a hole, pretty much destroy that part of the case. That mine just sitting in there. There is sort of a little timing procedure. We'll get to that here shortly. I'll sit in place. When you get ready to make sure that your distributor drive's in the line, in proper alignment, I mean. Keep in mind you want it facing distributor body and the rotor like it'd be pointing at cylinder 1 for your firing order. And then your crank gears and your camshaft gear will look like that. Keep in mind where the dots are. That would be top dead center on your cylinder 1. Alright, last time this would be split. Got a new camshaft plug. I have some gray Permatex. It's the ultra gray on my camshaft plug. The rest of it, I have a Permatex Formula 80062. That's what I use on them. So many different varying opinions on that. Use whatever you like to use and button it up. Alright, I'm going to keep buttoning mine up. I'm going to put my alternator generator stand on there. On these, note you have a gasket, a metal baffle, and then another gasket. Over here we are standing up. Get to your bottom side, you have 3 studs, and then you should have a bolt in the front and the back. Putting my oil pump in, old paper gasket that goes behind it. And I'll take my gear, this one that goes into the camshaft. I personally put a little glue on there. Alright, we're lubed up. Gear, you have a slot in there. Like I say, it goes into your camshaft. Turn it till it fits. You have another gear. Very simple oil pump on these. You have that. Then you'll have one more paper gasket. Then a cover. I've got a couple of covers. I'm going to go dig around. There we go. And normally you should have studs holding your oil pump on. So I'm going to change this one out to bolts. So I'm probably going to get me some new bolts. So I don't have them old junky rusty looking ones in there. This is a billet cover. There is no benefit to one of those, but I've been buying Volkswagen parts since I was about 18. So I have a bunch of weird junk like that. I'm going to stick that one on this engine. Alright, it's time to put our oil strainer in. You'll have a gasket. An oil strainer. An oil strainer. Give me just a sec. An oil strainer. Another gasket. And then you have your cover. Now your cover. And then in here you have all these little copper sealing washers. Go around your studs down here. Some new little cap nuts. Get on there. Short block. Get zoomed in there. See the back of the lifters on the camshaft lobes. You do put a red line assembly lube on there. That it's supposed to be the bee's knees for camshaft break-in. It comes with the Engel camshafts. So if you're, say you had your stock stuff reground, you can buy this off of Amazon or just any other place. See if they have a, that RO620 might be the part number to what you use. Put my little pulley on the front. Looking good so far. On these Volkswagen connecting rods, on these factory ones, pushed out there. They have a raised bump, which some people go by just that. And if you look, the wrist pin bushing or wrist pin end of the rod is offset. On the 3 and 4 side, that offset faces toward the flywheel. On the 1 and 2 side, that offset will face towards the pulley. And also on pistons, you'll have a little arrow on top of the piston, or you should. And everything I've ever seen says make sure all those arrows face the flywheel. Other than that, we are zipped together, buttoned up, and ready to move on to the next step.